A bean is the seed of plants in many genera of the legume family, Fabaceae, used as a vegetable for human consumption or animal feed. The seeds are sold fresh or preserved through drying a pulse. Beans have been cultivated since the 7th millennium BCE in Thailand, and since the 2nd millennium BCE in Europe and in Peru. Most beans, with the exception of peas, are summer crops. As legumes, the plants fix nitrogen and form seeds with a high protein content. They are produced on a scale of millions of tons annually in many countries. India is the largest producer. Dried beans are traditionally soaked and boiled, and used in traditional dishes throughout the world, including salads, soups, and stews such as chili con carne. Some are processed into tofu, others are fermented to form tempeh. Guar beans are used for their gum. The unripe seed pods of some varieties are also eaten whole as green beans or edamame, immature soybean. Some types are sprouted to form bean sprouts. Many fully ripened beans contain toxins like phytohemagglutinin and require cooking to make them safe to eat. Many species contain indigestible oligosaccharides that produce flatulence. Beans have traditionally been seen as a food of the poor. Etymology and naming the word bean and its Germanic cognates, e.g. German bone, have existed in common use in West Germanic languages since before the 12th century, referring to broad beans, chickpeas, and other pod-borne seeds. This was long before the New World genus Phasalis was known in Europe. With the Columbian exchange of domestic plants between Europe and the Americas, use of the word was extended to pod-borne seeds of Phasalis, such as the common bean and the runner bean, and the related genus Vigna. The term has long been applied generally to seeds of similar form, such as Old World soybeans and lupins, and to the fruits or seeds of unrelated plants such as coffee beans and vanilla beans. This article discusses only legumes. History see also. Columbian exchange beans in an early cultivated form were grown in Thailand from the early 7th millennium BCE, predating ceramics. Beans were deposited with the dead in ancient Egypt. Not until the 2nd millennium BCE did cultivated, large-seeded broad beans appear in the Aegean region, Iberia, and Transalpine Europe. In the Iliad 8th century BCE, there is a passing mention of beans and chickpeas cast on the thrashing floor. The oldest known domesticated beans in the Americas were found in Guitarrero Cave, Peru, dated to around the 2nd millennium BCE. Genetic analyses of the common bean Phasalis show that it originated in Mesoamerica and subsequently spread southward. Most of the kinds of beans commonly eaten today are part of the genus Phasalis, which originated in the Americas. The first European to encounter them was Christopher Columbus, while exploring what may have been the Bahamas, and saw them growing in fields. 5 kinds of Phasalis beans were domesticated by pre-Columbian peoples, selecting pods that did not open and scatter their seeds when ripe. Common beans, P. vulgaris, grown from Chile to the northern part of the United States, Lima and Ceiba beans, P. lunatus, and the less widely distributed teparies, P. acutafolius, scarlet runner beans, P. coccineus, and polyanthus beans. Pre-Columbian peoples as far north as the Atlantic seaboard grew beans in the Three Sisters method of companion planting. The beans were interplanted with maize and squash. Beans were cultivated across Chile in pre-Hispanic times, likely as far south as the Chiloé archipelago. Diversity taxonomic range beans are legumes, but from many different genera, native to different regions. Genus species and common varieties probable home region distribution. Climate notes Phasalis P. vulgaris, kidney, pinto, navy, cannellini, haricot French pole bush, black borlotti beans P. lunatus, Lima beans P. coccineus, runner, flat beans P. acutafolius. Tepary bean, the Americas tropical, subtropical, warm temperate contain high levels of toxic phytohemagglutinin, Vigna v. radiata, mung bean v. mungo, urid bean v. unguiculata cowpeas, yardlong bean, black-eyed peas v. aconidifolia, moth bean v. angularis, adzuki beans mostly South Asia equatorial, pantropical, warm subtropical, hot temperate Cajanus C. Cajun, pigeon pea Indian subcontinent pantropical, equatorial Lenzel culinaris, red, green, and pie lentils near East Levant temperate, subtropical, cool tropical Cicer C. Arietinum. Garbanzo beans Turkey Levant near East temperate, subtropical, cool tropical Visha v. Faba, broad beans v. ervilia, bitter vetch v. sativa, Common vetch Near East subtropical, temperate causes favism in susceptible people. Glycine G max, soybean East Asia hot temperate, subtropical cool tropical Macrotyloma M. Uniflorum, horsegram South Asia tropical, subtropical Mucuna M. Pruriens, velvet bean tropical Asia and Africa tropical, warm subtropical contains L-dopa and smaller amounts of other psychoactive compounds. Can cause itching and rashes on contact. Lupinus L. albus, white lupin L. mutabilis, Tarwi/Andean lupin, the Mediterranean, Balkans, Levant albus, the Andes mutabilis, subtropical, temperature requires soaking to remove toxins. Serotonia C. Siliqua, carob bean Mediterranean, Middle East subtropical, arid subtropical, hot temperate Canavalia C. Gladiata, sword bean C. ensiformis, jack beans South Asia or Africa, C. gladiata, Brazil and South America, C. ensiformis, tropical Siamopsis C. Tetragonaloba, guar bean Africa or South Asia tropical, semi-arid source of guar gum Lablab L. purpureus. Hyacinth Lablab bean South Asia, Indian subcontinent or Africa tropical Sophocarpus P. Tetranoglobulus, winged bean New Guinea tropical, equatorial conservation of cultivars, the biodiversity of bean cultivars is threatened by modern plant breeding, which selects a small number of the most productive varieties. Efforts are being made to conserve the germplasm of older varieties in different countries. As of 2023, the Norwegian Svalbard Global Seed Vault holds more than 40,000 accessions of Phasalis bean species. Cultivation agronomy, many beans are summer crops that need warm temperatures to grow, with peas as an exception. Legumes are capable of nitrogen fixation and hence need less fertilizer than most plants. Maturity is typically 55 to 60 days from planting to harvest. As the pods mature, they turn yellow and dry up, and the beans inside change from green to their mature color. Many beans are vines needing external support, such as bean cages or poles. Native Americans customarily grew them along with corn and squash, the tall stalks acting as support for the beans. More recently, the commercial bush bean, which does not require support and produces all its pods simultaneously, has been developed. Flower with pollinator Lablab flowers and fruits, broad beans ready for harvest production. Main article. Legume section production, bean production. Beans in a market. The production data for legumes are published by FAO in 3 categories. Pulses dry, all mature and dry seeds of leguminous plants except soybeans and groundnuts. Oil crops, soybeans and groundnuts. Fresh vegetable, immature green fresh fruits of leguminous plants. The following is a summary of FAO data. Production of legumes, million metric tons. Crops FAO code 19 quintillion 611 quadrillion 980 1 trillion 200 billion 120 million 150 2016. Ratio 2016-1961, remarks total pulses. Dry. 4784163562377578180201 80201 per capita production decreased. Population grew 4 times. Oil crops, dry, soybeans 268888531770 32320334891 increase driven by animal feeds and oil. Groundnuts with shell, fresh vegetables, 80 to 90% water. Beans, green 263409109223122360896 peas, green 379566124119441988525 top producers. Pulses million metric. The world leader in production of dry beans, Phasalis, is India, followed by Myanmar, Burma, and Brazil. In Africa, the most important producer is Tanzania. Top 10 dry beans, Phasalis SBP producers, 2020 rank country production, tons, footnote 1. India 5460000, FAO figure 2. Myanmar 3053012, official figure 3. Brazil 3035290, aggregated data 4. United States 1495180, semi, official data 5. China 1281586, official figure 6. Tanzania 1267648, FAO figure 7. Mexico 1056071, official figure 8. Kenya 774366, FAO figure 9. Argentina 633,823 semi, official data 10 Uganda 603,980, official figure total world 27545,942 aggregated data source. UN Food and Agriculture Organization. FAO uses culinary beans can be cooked in a wide variety of casseroles, curries, salads, soups, and stews. They can be served whole or mashed alongside meat or toast, or included in an omelet or a flatbread wrap. Other options are to include them in a bake with a cheese sauce, a Mexican-style chili con carne, or to use them as a meat substitute in a burger or in falafels. The French cassoulet is a slow-cooked stew with haricot beans, sausage, pork, mutton, and preserved goose. Soybeans can be processed into bean curd tofu or fermented into a cake tempeh. These can be eaten fried or roasted like meat, or included in stir-fries, curries, and soups. Most dry beans contain 21 to 25% protein by weight. Dry soybeans are 36.5% protein by weight. Bean salad beans on toast, grease bean soup cassoulet, France chili con carne with meat, beans, and red peppers bean burger bean curd curry tempeh cakes ready to cook. Indonesia other guar beans are used for their gum. Guar beans are used for their gum, a galactomannan polysaccharide. It is used to thicken and stabilize foods and other products. Health concerns toxins main articles. Phytohemagglutinin and soybean agglutinin. Some kinds of raw beans contain a harmful, flavorless toxin, the lectin phytohemagglutinin, which must be destroyed by cooking. Red kidney beans are particularly toxic, but other types also pose risks of food poisoning. Even small quantities, 4 or 5 raw beans, may cause severe stomachache, vomiting, and diarrhea. This risk does not apply to canned beans because they have already been cooked. A recommended method is to boil the beans for at least 10 minutes. Undercooked beans may be more toxic than raw beans. Beans need to be cooked thoroughly to destroy toxins, as slow cooking is unsafe, as it makes the beans soft without necessarily destroying the toxins. A case of poisoning by butter beans used to make falafel was reported. The beans were used instead of traditional broad beans or chickpeas, soaked and ground without boiling, made into patties, and shallow fried. Bean poisoning is not well known in the medical community, and many cases may be misdiagnosed or never reported. Figures appear not to be available. In the case of the United Kingdom's National Poisons Information Service, available only to health professionals, the dangers of beans other than red beans were not flagged as of 2008. Fermentation is used in some parts of Africa to make beans more digestible by removing toxins. Other hazards: it is common to make bean sprouts by letting some types of bean, often mung beans, germinate in moist and warm conditions. Bean sprouts may be used as ingredients in cooked dishes or eaten raw or lightly cooked. There have been many outbreaks of disease from bacterial contamination, often by Salmonella, Listeria, and Escherichia coli, of bean sprouts not thoroughly cooked, some causing significant mortality. Many types of bean, such as kidney beans, contain significant amounts of antinutrients that inhibit some enzyme processes in the body. Phytic acid, present in beans, interferes with bone growth and interrupts vitamin D metabolism. Many beans, including broad beans, navy beans, kidney beans, and soybeans, contain large sugar molecules, oligosaccharides, particularly raffinose and stachyose. A suitable oligosaccharide cleaving enzyme is necessary to digest these. As the human digestive tract does not contain such enzymes, consumed oligosaccharides are digested by bacteria in the large intestine, producing gases such as methane, released as flatulence. In human society, the bean eater, c. 1584, by Annabel Karachi beans have traditionally been considered a food of the poor, as farmers ate grains and vegetables and obtained their protein from beans, whereas the wealthier classes could afford meat. European society has what Ken Albala calls a class-based antagonism to beans. Different cultures agree in disliking the flatulence that beans cause and possess their own seasonings to attempt to remedy it. Mexico uses the herb epizote, India the aromatic resin asafoetida, Germany applies the herb savory, in the Middle East, cumin, and Japan the seaweeds kombu. A substance for which there is evidence of effectiveness in reducing flatulence is the enzyme alpha-galactosidase. Extracted from the mold fungus Aspergillus niger, it breaks down glycolipids and glycoproteins. The reputation of beans for flatulence is the theme of a children's song, Beans, Beans, the musical fruit. The Mexican jumping bean is a segment of a seed pod occupied by the larvae of the moths Cydia saltitans and sold as a novelty. The pods start to jump when warmed in the palm of the hand. Scientists have suggested that the random walk that results may help the larva to find shade and so to survive on hot days.